It's hard to believe 2017's half over, mostly because it feels like a decade's passed since it started. As the seasons shift, it's time to trade in the fun, nonsense sexiness of summer for the delicious coziness of fall. With days getting shorter and cool nights getting longer, there's no better time to snuggle up on the couch with your significant other, whether that's your partner, pet, or favorite pillow. If you're a sentimental sort, Halloween's horror-saturated theater domination likely leaves you cringing, so for those preferring tenderness to terror, here's a list of romantic movies coming up later in 2017. There are plenty of straightforward, by-the-book, charming romances coming up, like In Search of Fellini, about meet-cutes all over the gorgeous Italian landscape, and Breathe, a biopic about the love's triumph over illness. This season's pleasant surprise, though, is that the concept of romance is finally stretched beyond hot young hetero couple, with several upcoming LGBTQ romances, including Call Me By Your Name and Battle of the Sexes. Behind the comic biopic Professor Marston and the Wonder Women is a study of an open marriage in 1941. The Wild Wedding features romance over the age of 50, and of all things, horror maestro Guillermo del Toro joins the fun with offbeat fairy tale The Shape of Water. Dive on in. Open road films, starting off the season with the tried and true Hallie Myers Hire, daughter of rom-com extraordinaire Nancy Myers, gives us home again. Reese Witherspoon plays Alice, a woman who finds herself enjoying the company of three young filmmakers living in her guest house. There's flirting, pea-canoodling, and impeccably crate barrel set rooms galore. Like mother, like daughter. Vertical entertainment. Bringing your new guy over to hang with your ex seems like a bad idea. Bringing your 5th-time fiancé to stay at your first ex-husband's before the wedding, definitely worse. Glenn Close and Patrick Stewart are the soon-to-be newlyweds meeting the extremely extended family, and John Malkovich is the ex trying and failing to be the bigger man. Spotted Cow Entertainment. In this starry-eyed fairy tale, sheltered young Lucy from Ohio discovers the oddball masterpieces of Italian director Federico Fellini. Her lovingly overprotective mother encourages Lucy to follow on her dreams, partly to push Lucy out into the world, and partly to continue shielding her from harsh truths. The movie is a whirlwind of travel mix-ups with happy results, romantic encounters with hunky, gregarious artists, and scene after scene filled with gorgeous Italian scenery. Good Deed Entertainment. He would like to show by my work what there's nobody has in his heart. Vincent van Gogh's fictional declaration also holds true for loving Vincent's creators, who went through the painstaking process of creating the world's first oil-painted feature film to tell the story of Van Gogh's last few months. Lionsgate Films Stronger takes the more personal approach about the Boston Marathon bombing, as it focuses on the true-life story of Jeff Bauman, whose last-ditch romantic gesture to win over his jogger girlfriend landed him in the hospital as a double amputee. Where most films would show Bauman becoming the symbol of Boston's resilience, Stronger shows him being shoved in that role, simultaneously realizing its importance and resenting it. Fox Searchlight. If you're unfamiliar with the real-life 1973 tennis match, you'd be forgiven for thinking Battle of the Sexes was a period piece about two titans of the sport who hate each other so much they end up in love. While world champion Billie Jean King really does loathe former champ, chauvinist Bobby Riggs, the love story is really between King and hairdresser Marilyn Bennett. With King married at the time, the film focuses on her realization of and struggle with her sexuality as she and Marilyn stumble into a happy relationship. King battles two fronts: the titular match and her fight for pay equality between male and female athletes. The Orchard. The main crux of documentary Dina, following its title character up to and after her wedding, is passion. Dina longs for more, and boyfriend-turned-husband Scott seems okay with things the way they are. The film follows Dina's patient attempts to get Scott to understand her needs, while Scott, sweet and caring, tries to listen. The situation is complicated by Scott's Asperger's syndrome and Dina's host of mental and emotional issues, but the film presents a sincere, straightforward love story without the usual ableism that comes with so many films trying to present a worse, showcase disabilities. Annapurna Pictures. A true-life story of the man and women behind Wonder Woman. This biopic details the unconventional relationship between Professor Marston, his wife Elizabeth, and Marston's teaching assistant, Olive. Polyamory is still considered unconventional today, and the film focuses on the trio navigating a mutual love in a world that absolutely has no place for it. Bleecker Street actor Andy Serkis steps into the director's chair for this pure romance. Soon after the birth of his son, Robin Cavendish contracts polio and becomes paralyzed from the neck down. His wife, Diana, refuses to let him give in to bitterness and depression, moving him on the respirator he needs to live back home. The film is a genuinely sweet love story of two people supporting each other through difficult times, and struggling to remain visible during a time when disabilities were to be hidden. Open road film. This steamy thriller follows Gina, blind since a childhood accident, and dominant husband James. Corrective surgery and special eye drops restore Gina's sight, and apparently her libido, as she becomes more provocative and outgoing. James seems unsure about the new relationship dynamic as Gina explores an entire new sensory world. When Gina's sight begins failing again due to the drops, questions arise: is James sabotaging them to gain the upper hand, or could Gina be undermining herself to get back the relationship she had? Another film presenting so-called exceptional romance as absolutely straightforward. Well, straight isn't the right word. This tale is about a young man's burgeoning attraction for his father's hunky research assistant, played by Armie Hammer. This is a lush, gorgeous summer romance, where the main issue is the sweet pain of crushes, not sexuality itself. Fox Searchlight horror king Guillermo del Toro pops out post-Halloween with a love story set against a Cold War backdrop. Mute cleaning woman Eliza spends her days scrubbing top secrets at a hidden government facility. When hardline officials bring in the latest catch, lonely Eliza begins bonding with the captive creature. Knowing Del Toro, cruel humans are likely to be the real monsters, but the film won't shy away from stunning practical creature effects. Paramount Pictures rounding out the year is a truly bananas sort of sci-fi from Alexander Payne's Sideways Election. Paul and Audrey Safranek, Matt Damon and Kristen Wiig decide to literally shrink themselves to afford the lifestyle they want. The film follows the misadventures, with Paul getting pushed and pulled in different directions by residents of Leisureland Estates, a planned community for the small. That's the look of love on the big screen through the fall season. Hopefully there's enough more in the upcoming months to keep you swooning well into the holidays.